Quiet on the set. Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on February 11th, 2026. Happily, Alan's hair is growing back in. His barber gave him a real scalping last time. Okay, everybody. Here's one of my famous things. I'm getting tired of my famous questions myself, but I get them. I want everybody to know they come from the New York Times. Unlike the Washington Post, it's not going out of business. Okay, and so if you think that I'm not a reputable person, the New York Times. Okay, that's where I get the stuff from. Here's the big question: can your candidate wear sorry, a sweatshirt to an interview? Okay. There's a lot more details, but I'll let you guys give a first feedback. Now, I just want everyone to notice these two guys, they're wearing sweatshirts, okay, hoodies. Okay, that's a standard fare on the Recruiting Animal show now. Everybody wears the hoodie.
Depends on the job. You know?
I'm wearing it because my hero is wearing it here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we all want to be like, you know what? I told everybody many times that, Rich didn't shave in the old days when he came on the show.
Yeah, I just had to shave yesterday.
I stopped shaving, but now he started shaving, so I shaved before the show.
I happened to yesterday, and I'm just waiting for a call to get off a hold here.
Okay. So, Rich, before you get your call, okay, so we all want to be like Rich. That's the point, okay?
It's a scary thought.
before we you get the call, is it okay to dress like you in an interview?
It depends on the job.
You only place one kind of person. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, for my guys, no. But if you're placing like engineers, sure.
Yeah.
Why not your guys? He's a sales rep recruiter.
Yeah.
Why
because
not?
They need to, and again, depends on the client too. Some clients are like, they prefer it. Look, all right, hang on. Yep, hang on.
Okay, he's got to go. Okay, but in the meantime, I'll add some other information, Alan. Okay, the one guy says, look, a sweatshirt undermines the visual authority of the wearer. It sort of tells everybody, hey, I'm just a kid, I'm a nobody. You don't have to respect me. But now they've got these fancy sweatshirts, okay? It's like a fancy shirt, and you can wear it with a blazer and tailored pants, and it looks pretty good. I've never seen that myself, okay? Have you?
Oh, if you're talking one of those high-end, nice $150 T-shirts, and then you could. I mean,
it's a sweatshirt, not a
sweatshirt, whatever. But it depends. Again, Rich is right. It depends.
I'll bet you're better off. Everyone says, and I think it's probably true. You're better off erring on the side of being overdressed.
And I agree.
I got a question for Rich now.
What do we got?
This one is called Trojan Horse Recruiting. You've never heard of it before, have you? Neither of these guys have. Okay. Here's the thing. You're recruiting for startups like Richie Rich does. Oh, Alan disappeared. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. So you offer to find your prospect. You're doing business development, and you say, look, buddy, at your stage, using an agency doesn't make sense. If I were you, I would hire an internal recruiter, and I'll help you do that for free. Okay, because those guys, the person I give you is going to understand when she needs an agency and when she doesn't. Okay, and she'll know me. It'll be good for me in the end. She'll know that I'm an agency she can trust. Would you ever do? I don't think Rich would ever do that.
No,
and probably not. I don't really see, why it'd be great business sense. I mean, it's not like you're giving away a CEO for free to a VC firm who's, now they're going to bring you through multiple jobs. But, most internals aren't that fantastic.
Hold on. That's the point. Rich always says most internal recruiters are very hard to deal with. They don't know how to work with me. If this person says, yeah, I agree, Rich. That's why I'm going to put that person in myself. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if there's roles that I can't fill, I usually offer up other recruiters that can partner with me. They can run through my contract and I can manage the whole thing. Otherwise, if it's like, hey, listen, they really need, I've got a somewhat of a situation like this going on now, where they are bringing on internal recruiters to handle everything but sales. They're letting me do the sales stuff. You know, so
You said, hey, I'm going to bring you some internal recruiters for free.
No,
I didn't offer it because they didn't ask me. You know, I don't think it's not like a crazy idea to do it. You know, I mean, it's just select.
Alan thinks it's a crazy idea.
no. Well, hold on. I think there's like I've done it twice,
Mhm.
but it was very special circumstances. It was when I was in tech. It was when the client companies were exploding. There was no way I could support all of them, so I put in a recruiter on contract, so I'm making money on the person, and they are helping learn the internal processes, politics, etc. So I got more hires in because of that. But if I'm just going to put in number one, I'm going to give you someone to hire as a recruiter for free. No,
Yeah,
I mean because
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, like again, you know, and again, it's strategic. You got to figure out. It's like if, like I said, you're sending in a, you know, CRO, a VP of sales, it's a big fee, but you know, giving it to a VC firm who may, you know, who then can leverage that person, and then that person brings you into deals. They get to know you, bring favor with the VCs. They know you're not all about you.
Yeah,
you know, that's all. Like you know, one of my does it, and you know, he's billing like $300,000-$500,000 a month with his team. You know,
500 a month, not a year.
but he's got like 14 guys working for him.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
like you, another solo. Okay,
No,
here's another one for these.
The funny thing is, this is a big argument right now. He considers himself a solo. Like, how the fuck are you a solo? You have all these people running your jobs. Like, you just bring the job in, they all fill it. I'm like, there's absolutely not a solo, but that's a whole other conversation.
14 people. It's not a solo. You call
Something
yourself.
like that.
You have an assistant, and you call yourself a solo. But
I don't even have an assistant.
no more.
I haven't had an assistant in years.
That's not true.
That's totally true. My God.
Okay, here's a related one. Make sure the candidate knows exactly what she wants. If she's interested in a startup and a well-established firm, she might not know what she wants, right? And that might spell disaster if she's hired, because they're two opposite things. Rich is a guy who works exclusively for startups. What if you had a candidate who, you know, wanted to work for like an IBM type company, but she'll go out to look at your companies as well? Would you say, no, I'm not doing it? I'm not, hands off.
99% of the time, they're not really ready to do it. I have this conversation daily where it's like, this is, you know, I walk them through the day in the life of a startup, and they're like, oh yeah, I've done that. I'm like, really? Have you? Where? And they're like, oh, well, I was at this company. There was 1,000 people there. I'm like, totally different. You know, how did you do this? Oh, we had other people do that. Like, you're not, they're not, most of them aren't mentally equipped to do it. Some can do it, but most of them are not mentally, they don't want to go back down to the ground floor of grunting and digging and picking and everything else. So usually no. And IBM, Microsoft, guys like that, almost always no.
Yeah.
So you would tell them, look, I'm not going to hire you. I'm not going to handle you for this. I wouldn't even think of handling you for this company. You have to, this company, you got to go out and buy your own toilet paper. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, you know, you make it sound like I'm mean to these people. I'm never rude to these guys.
But you do turn them off. That's all I'm trying to say.
I do. I tell them, I'm like, you know, what I usually tell them is, why don't you go think about it tonight, tomorrow? Do you really want to get down and dirty again? Do you really want to, you know, pick up the phone, make 100 cold calls, and work for a brand with no name? And I really sell it so they're, you know, it sounds really bad.
Alan,
Yeah.
You're nodding your head all the time.
He's right. Well, no, because I'll push back on people too. We do it all the time, and it's not that he's being rude to them. It's like he's saying, look, I used to say, look, here's the deal. You used to work at Boeing, and you had 8 people just to dump your trash. Here's a startup. Here's what you have to do. You have to make the calls. You got to go do the meeting. And you know what? When you get back at the afternoon, maybe you got to empty the trash or make some coffee. And it's just part of what the environment is. And if that's not for you, that's okay. Because I don't want to put somebody in, and 3 weeks later they're like, no.
Exactly. Well, that's it. I mean, you can't. You got to explain to them. Listen, you're going there not for the money. You're going there for the impact. You'd be part of something bigger than you. You go there because you're tired of just being some corporate zombie that treats you like shit.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
but wouldn't the CEO or the founder or whoever it is at that new company or the VP sales say, I'm not going to see a person like this. You know, wouldn't they filter them out even if you
Yeah,
were willing
no.
to put them in?
Depends. It all depends on the company. Like right now, I've got a client that really likes Oracle people. It's a brand new startup, but Oracle has got a certain thing that they sell that they want that skill set from. I don't particularly agree with it, and I've tried to talk them out of it, but that's what they want.
Okay, but
Yeah,
are you ever say, look, I don't think this person's going to
Oh, yeah,
last.
I've done multiple times. I mean,
And I'm not going to be responsible. Okay, don't come to me for a guarantee if this guy lasts 6 weeks.
I mean, honestly, I placed a bunch of people here, and the first 3 reps I placed there was literally the first 3 in the company. One crushed it, one failed, and one closed 2 deals, and then they let him go at the very end of his year. Because, and I told him, I'm like, honestly, hitting 33% on the first 3 hires is actually pretty good, number one.
Yep.
And then 2, I'm like, you wanted people in a very specific geography with a very specific skill set. You weren't hiring the best, as I told you when you hired them. You hired the people that could get to your office. And I told you that was going to be a mistake. The fact that we got 1 out of 3 is a big win, actually. And that guy killed it, so personally, I don't feel bad at all. I mean, the guys use me exclusively anyway for a million other searches, but it's, but you got to be real with everyone. Otherwise, you're just wasting your own time.
Wow. So you could warrant a company, don't hire this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And they hire
No. It's not don't hire this person. It's be aware of these things. Here, I'll give you one. I had an IT guy in the energy space, tough space, niche space, and let's just call him Rich Rosen. And I walked into my client, who I put in some of the executives and probably 30 people. I had Rich's resume. I had a red circle and a line through it. And I said, he's got the skills on his resume. He says the right words when I screen him, but there's something about him I don't trust. You need to, I'm giving you this so you're careful if it comes across any other way. And the VP that I placed said, oh yeah, we got him through so-and-so. He starts next Monday. 2 months later, I get a call from another VP who says, basically, they let this guy quit so they didn't have to document. They fired him. He was a true hacker, and they didn't know how much shit he had stolen.
Wow.
And so I needed now to find somebody who could get into his world and unfuck it. But then from that point on, I said, Jim, the next time I say be careful, be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had a story like that, years ago. I told the client not to hire my guy. That one I flat out said don't hire him. He's a liar. The VP hired him. 30 days later, they fired him. The VP was calling me, yelling at me, saying, you got to replace this guy. I said, no, I told you under no circumstances would I take any ownership of it other than getting paid. I'm not replacing him. I called this, I called the CEO. I was like, hey, here's the documentation. Here's what I told him, not to hire this guy. I'm happy to replace him, for a fee, but I'm not replacing him for free. And then he's like, well, how about you find a new VP of sales and a new rep? So he ended up firing the VP, and obviously they fired the rep. So I actually ended up getting 3 placements out of that one. So it was great. So
okay. I see that it's a very dangerous situation. If you put that person in there, it's going to screw things up for you.
Again, you're like the client animal. You act like it's our problem and our fault for your hire. We just make the introduction.
You're paying the price, okay? Even if you accept
it doesn't
responsibility.
matter. But listen, no. My job is not to make sure the guy works out. Do I hope they work out? Hell yeah. Will I do whatever I can to make sure they work out? Usually. Yeah. But you know what? If they fail, it's not on me.
Are you going to get repeat business after you put in somebody who fails?
You can.
But again, you can. Of course you can, because clients, good, smart clients realize it's not your responsibility. Like at one point, Animal, stop, because this is like a serious pain in the ass point that we have to fight with every day when you're getting clients. Like I'm going through an argument now where the person's like, they want 90 days. I'm like, what the hell is going to change from day 1 to 90? My job is to make the introduction. My job is not to make sure they work out. My job is to find you the people that fit your skill set that you're looking for.
Yes.
Your job, Mr. Hiring Manager, is to onboard them properly, give them an actual chance to be successful. And I have no control over that. So why the fuck would I take the blame for it?
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
going with a couple on the honeymoon. That's isn't that your?
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's not. It absolutely is not my fucking problem. You buy a new car, you go and hit a telephone pole tomorrow with it. Are you going to bring it back?
and
So-
along his line, this week,
Yeah.
I have I got called by a client. They asked me, find somebody, and this is where our salary is. The salary was way off, way low. And I'm like, you know what? You want to pay 140 for a 180 position. Look, I'll tell you what, I've got one resume, one guy. He's junior. I take no responsibility for it. And I don't think I think you should interview him to learn where the market's at. They hired him. They called me a day or so ago and said, hey, we had to let him go inside of the warranty period. And I said, well, what, you want me to find? I kind of nicely, I'll keep my eyes open. And I have a relationship with this company. The executive said, Alan, no, we knew what we were getting into. We hired him. We paid you. You did your job. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, that was good. And he went to bat for me with HR. We provide the introduction. I have told clients, and when I was internal, I said it way too often. You want to see better people and more tenure? You let me hire the person.
Yeah.
You don't let me hire the person. That's your job.
No. Like, Alan, so I got this. I'm in the midst of this negotiation, which I'm not going to win. This company, they've been looking for 4 months, and I turned them down 4 months ago. They come back, the VP calls and says, hey, gets HR, says, hey, listen, we couldn't come to terms with Rich, 4 months ago. We're still looking. Can we get Rich on board? And so I talked to this lady, and she wanted to do like 18. She's like, I can maybe get up to 20%. And, we need a 90-day warranty. And, we're probably going to bring on another recruiter too. All right. So, and I was like, yeah, that's probably not going to work. I mean, like I can do it for 30% and 30-day warranty. And, I'm like, I'm willing to be flexible because I know the VP I like is a great guy, but I need exclusivity. I mean, otherwise you're going to be looking for another 4 months. No one of value is going to spend their time in this thing. And so she comes back with, 22% in 90 days and no exclusivity. I'm like, I just need exclusivity for 2 weeks. If I can't fill it in 2 weeks, it's probably not getting filled. 2
weeks. Wow.
Yeah. And
he knows the market. He knows the players already.
No, hold on. That was my next question. Would it be someone you already knew, or he goes out looking for new people all
probably
the time?
someone I already know, but I would probably also run through people. In 2 weeks, I can hit a lot of people. And normally, look back at your searches. You generally found that right person in the first 2 weeks of the search.
No.
Yeah.
You're working on shitty searches.
Job.
Did you work it up?
I've never worked on a niche like you.
Niche doesn't matter. Niche doesn't matter.
Yes,
Well,
it
if you're a generalist, then you're just sucking ass all day.
Yeah.
So.
There's a thing out there, Animal. I'll call it karma, call it the force, call it what you want to.
Call it the internet.
Call it the internet. Call it what you want. But if you're connecting with people and you're doing your job and you put it out there, it's really weird. I've told clients over and over again, if we give you between 1 and 4 people within the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever, that's probably the best group you're going to see. So don't come back to me and say, hey, I really like Rich and Animal. Find somebody that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen is I'm going to say, no, we're going to keep looking a little bit. And then maybe we should, let's hire Rich. No, Rich, we already placed Rich.
Yeah, you already lost them.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, but hold on. I got 2 arguments against you guys here. Okay.
Big surprise.
Yeah. Okay. First, if Rich believed that you could get those people, blah, 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 boom, 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 he wouldn't tell us all the time. He's one of these, contact those people until one of you dies. Okay.
Right.
I don't care if I send
you're
them.
missing the point. No. Listen, as usual, you're missing the bigger point, little boy. You're missing the point. I will still work a search because I know sometimes your clients, like Alan said, they're going to want to see more people. 2, I may need that person for a future search, but now I'll talk to them. And once that search is done, I don't make any phone calls to them, but I may let the campaign run, the email campaign run. Why would you not?
Okay, well, that's a twist that you've never ever mentioned before. You say
Well,
that
I thought it was kind of implied.
no, you always tell us, and it's reasonable. Hey, sometimes it's going to take 8 touches to get the person
It
to
is.
reply.
But all right, but hang on. But 8 touches. I'm going to send an email out tonight. I'm going to call them tomorrow. I'm going to text them tomorrow. That's 3 right there in 2 days.
Mhm.
All right. Then I'm going to send a LinkedIn message probably in day 4 or 5. I really hammer. And then I'm going to send another email in 2 more days. I'll probably call them again if they're really good. And I mean, that's already 7. And we're like day 5. I mean, by this time they know who the fuck I am. Right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Rich, I got a question for you.
Mhm.
I'm working in an adjacent sector to construction right now in the subcontractor world, but that's really cool. But I've had 2 people send me their resumes and then go dark, and I haven't had that happen in a very long
Happening
time.
a lot this year, I find.
Is it? Okay.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it a bunch. I don't know if it's people are going on vacation, which is some of it. People are getting really sick. Part of it. People are. I mean, like, dude, I'm still fighting this flu I've had for 4 weeks now.
Is it?
This
is it a thing that, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but is it a thing where I used to always say, look, I talked to Ernie, I get him the first interview, and after the first interview, now it's the holy shit, this is real. And now, but is it? They send me the resume, then it's holy shit, is this real?
I think it's a lot of factors. Sometimes they're interviewing other places, they get another role.
Mhm.
They just didn't tell us, right? Other times, they decided they're not that interested. Other times, a million things. I mean, it's as so far this year, I've had people that I've known very well, get this flu or whatever, and then just go dark. And other people take jobs. Other people just decide they're not interested. People. This is what makes the job hard, right? There's so many human elements to it that it's all human elements. It's just you just don't know. So
it's funny because we would call somebody, text somebody, email somebody, and just say, you know what, I'm sick. I'm going to be out for at least a week. One of my better hires last year was the guy kind of went dark, and he texted and said, sorry, death in the family, flu.
Yeah.
I'm in another city taking care of family business. Give me 10 days and then call me. And I did. And he ended up, look, I'm still here for an additional week on top of that. Blah, blah, blah. But no, send my resume over to them. And if they want to talk on the phone, I can do it. And he did what he should do.
yeah, I mean, that's it. And that's exactly it.
Hey,
Okay.
Ernie,
Okay, no irony, but hold on. Luckily, I haven't forgotten. Okay, but I can't find the thing. Timmy K, he's got that it's a funny last name that I can't pronounce. Well, I call him Timmy K. He was a senior internal recruiting manager for like 10 years or something. Then about last year or 2, he went on his own, and he was bragging on LinkedIn that, or maybe on the Facebook group, that he took a search. They hadn't found somebody in 4 months. Okay.
Well,
and he filled that job. You just told us if a recruiter works on a search and doesn't, and comes up with people in the first 2 weeks, that's the cream of the crop. That's who's going to, one of those people are going to be the best ones for the job or the best available. He said 4 months someone else had been looking, and
whoa.
I mean, listen,
what's your point? That was a lousy recruiter?
No, that Alan.
But hang on. It's also timing too, because listen, because people aren't looking in January, but come March, they've gotten their bonus, they've hit their President's Club or whatever, and now April hits, their deals are done. They're going to small.
So now you're arguing against yourself. You said
no, it's not. It's just listen. The end of the day is a search will get done in 2 weeks. Typically, the candidates are generally going to be found.
But it's kind of like today I'm fine. Tomorrow, they just told me they're going to lay me off.
There's 2 questions now. This guy said these are key questions now in the world of AI. You have to ask, and he was talking about salespeople. Rich, what is in your prompt library, and what AI tools have you mastered, and why? Do those sound like good questions?
Yeah, they are. I mean, I usually ask people how are they using AI. I don't ask them what's in their prompt library. That's an interesting question. I mean, most people, it's sad that this is what I find lately with salespeople. Most don't use AI that efficiently, very cursory. But those are good questions.
Okay, but what kind of AI expertise do you want to see in your sales reps? You said that your clients are looking for? What is it they're looking for?
Well, they're not looking for it. I'm looking for it.
Well, what do
it's-
you want? What do you why?
I want them to know how they're using it. Are they using it to practice discovery? Are they using to do research? Are they using it for, setting up slides? What are they? How are they doing it? What are they
Or
doing?
are they using it? Period.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of them aren't, which is crazy.
Well, you know what? Yeah, apparently with AI, to get value from AI, you have to ask good questions. But to ask good questions, you have to be a subject matter expert.
No, you don't.
No.
You can use Prompt Cowboy and it will write an amazing prompt for you by asking a very lazy question.
Like what? Can you think of anything offhand?
Yeah, I just whatever you want. Prompt Cowboy is a great app. It's free if you don't use it. And I can just say, like, write me, give me a summary of a call. All right. And, if I just put it in the chat, it will do it and do a decent job. I put that into Prompt Cowboy. It writes a very long, rich prompt that's very deep, and it will break it down into all different areas, and it comes out 1,000 times better.
Animal, you can ask the AI. I mean, Rich's comment is very accurate. The other thing you can do that people don't learn is you can ask the AI, I want to do this. Teach me how to tell you how to do it.
Absolutely.
And it will at least get you there, get you better. And like Rich, I'd like both your advices on this. I did take this transcript and evaluate how I did on the phone call. And then I said, and do it as if you were the Gong application. And it gave me something completely different, but it gave me better. Is there anything?
So one, Tom Alacio has a great prompt for transcribing calls that he uses. I actually use too because it's really good. And two, you can put that in there. Like you can tell ChatGPT, create a rubric, based on what you know about me or based on this kind of a call, that I'm looking for X, Y, and Z, right? You can go and refine that, Prompt Cowboy write it for you even better. And then you dump your transcript in there and then it will evaluate it. Or you use track.ai, which is one of the call recorders I use. That actually does give you a full analysis and coaches you and tells you what you did and didn't do well.
These guys are raving about Cluely, and now Rich is saying he uses Track.
No. I've been using Track for years. I still use Track, but I also use Cluely. Track records the video and the call and does analysis on a video call like this. You don't let it in apparently, but that's okay.
If you got it,
it should be in here. I don't know why it's not, but anyhow, it automatically joins. But you know why it's not on my calendar? That's why. You need to send me a calendar invite so it would join. And then I can send you the analysis. So break it down what each person said and what you could have done better. Questions you should have asked, things like that. It's really slick.
And Track AI or
TRAQ.ai, I think.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean the guys are great. Super nice dude that owns it, and it's excellent. Honestly, it's really excellent. You can then it's got its own AI built in there, so you can ask it anything you want to. It's been around for probably 4 or 5 years now.
Okay, yeah. Here's what I wanted. Rich commented today on an interesting posting. It might have been yesterday on contact info finders. We haven't talked about them for a while, but this guy on Facebook, he gave a list of how many he tried, and I'm just going to run through them quickly. He said, I've used Zoom Info, Contact Out, Signal Hire, Rocket Reach, Kendo, Apollo, Sales QL, Arrow Leads, Hunter, Weeza, Swordfish, Data Gamma or something, Datagma, I've never seen it before, Seamless AI, iCrunch, True People Search, and InfoTracer. And he said most of the time he uses Zoom Info, Signal Hire, and Contact Out, and they're okay, but not great. He's gone through at least a dozen of these things.
They're all the same. They're all pulling from the same source.
That's what Rich said. Okay.
Yeah.
Rich,
there's like 3 sources. Now there's 2, I think, actually.
He doesn't use pin.com. Rich says I use pin.com, but they're all the same anyway. Okay.
They are. But you know what? Some do a better job. Some update more frequently. Zoom does their scammy way of pulling it out of people's emails and stuff like that. I mean, I personally, for the money, I never had great luck with Zoom for the money. But it's the biggest one out there. I find Signal Hire for me, and it depends on your industry too. Signal Hire for me works pretty well. It depends on honestly, it literally depends on the time of day you use it, the search you're working, everything else.
Okay. Rich, a few more. Okay. But Rich
I
said,
got one more. It's already 1:15, so.
okay. Well, you came in late, but
Sorry.
yeah. Okay. You said about, so you mentioned his daughter. Okay. And he said she applied to a company. They rejected her. Then they called her back to say that was an error. They hired her, and then they called her back.
Yeah.
They called her back to say the position is on hold.
I'm glad you find that funny. That's very nice of you.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Alan Floor, thank you. Nice to see you. Rich Rosen, and he teaches a class. You'll find the link. It's tomorrow. It's below this show. Ernie Moreno and me. Thanks, everybody.